What's up, everyone? This is Kronos, aka Adam, back with another AEW Week in Review. As always, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. Social media down there. Obviously, we are on the road to Fyter Fest. This is the go home week for Fyter Fest, which will be a 2-week on TV pay per view. Obviously, we'll get into the lineups when we go over to Dynamite. Unfortunately, some of these may be subject to change due to everything that's been going on. Obviously, between WWE and AEW, as one has undoubtedly affected the other with the virus breakout. And obviously, the card has also been subject to change, at least on Dynamite, due to a lot of the allegations and actions taken by AEW. Obviously, as I've always stated, I'm not a journalist. I'm not going to get too far into it. I'm only going to talk about what has actually been actions that have been taken, as opposed to speculating or rumors. I'm nowhere near someone in the business where I can actually opine on that enough to have any kind of credibility, so I won't. So as always, I go over BTE, I go over Dark and Dynamite for the week, and that's what I'm going to do here today. Alright, so we're going to start off with BTE. BTE actually took a day off in light of the actions that were taken against Sammy Guevara and Jimmy Havoc. They felt it was maybe, good to take a day off. They intimated like it was going to be possibly longer. I'm glad they didn't, not because of, me doing this, because let's face it, nobody even watches this. It's more along the lines of, just it's funny content. I do enjoy watching it, so I'm glad they only took a day off. So we're going to go to BTE. This one was called Christian AF. As stated, throughout the times on BTE, Matt and Nick Jackson are straight edge. They are Christian, and sometimes they are... they say that they are very Christian, even though, we don't really see it so much, especially when it comes to them in the ring or their wrestling or whatever, but I guess in their lifestyle, that's how they practice, which is fine, obviously. Everyone can practice however they want. So we get a shot of Nick's new baby, as I think I might have mentioned before. He had taken some time off his baby. He had his third child, baby boy. Very cute. They actually mentioned the term babyface, which then we get explained what babyface is with Broken Brilliance from Broken Matt Hardy. It's obviously babyface is the good guy, which I do find funny is that he's doing it from the Hardy compound, and there's a coffin in the background, so I don't know what that's about. Interesting. We get Paige and Kenny in a room. Cole comes in to try and antagonize Kenny. He doesn't care anymore. Cole apparently made Kenny a laughingstock. People don't take him seriously anymore, which has kind of been a criticism of Kenny since AEW started, kind of that he was taking a back seat, allowing everybody else to kind of get over, but everyone always wants Kenny to be at the forefront of it because, he's considered one of the best wrestlers in the world, the best bout machine, so kind of like life imitating art. So he just, he's had it with Cole. He says next time he sees him, he's going to beat Cole's ass. Cole keeps trying to kind of like, oh, you want to chase me? And he's like, nope, go. We get Cutler looking for the best friends. They're actually driving one of those golf carts he sees down the long hallway. Says he doesn't want to end up getting run over. They roll up. He says he asked them for a bit, and then they just back away slowly because they don't want to come up with anything. We get another speaking Spanglish segment. Hamburger and hot dog we learn how to say, even though I've already forgotten. Ortiz starts to get dirty with what he's saying. Dasha Gonzalez comes out, is about to use the slipper on them. The chancletazo? I don't know, I'm pretty bad. Parle français. So we get Cutler. He finds Avalon and Leva Bates. Says Avalon. He talks about how Avalon's supposed to face Orange Cassidy. Cutler didn't want a match because he wants to work on himself. He thinks that they actually had chemistry before Avalon messed it up. They start arguing with each other. Avalon gets pissed, takes Leva, and they leave. Private Party's looking at the board, I guess, for the the lineup for Dynamite. They don't see themselves on the board. Nick comes up behind them, says that he couldn't find anything for them. They still think that he's ribbing them. Even because last week he said that they're off BTE. But then he says he's dead ass, and all of a sudden they start to realize, okay, this is serious. Matt shows up with the serious face. Private Party is not happy about being left off now of the show. Brody Lee walks into the Dark Order dressing room, throws papers at Evil Uno's face, says it's all their fault regarding recruitment emails. Uno then puts Reynolds and Silver in charge. I don't know what that's about. We get another TH2 bit. They're listing all their grievances. They're singling out the Young Bucks and a bunch of the other teams. Best Friends are still trying to think of a bit. They think about killing Cutler, Home Alone style. Obviously that won't happen. And then Orange Cassidy starts talking about something. Turns out, yes, it's just another plot to a Fast and Furious movie. We get the Cutler cam from Dynamite. Backstage, Matt selling the ribs. Cutler offers the red or the blue pills. Matt is mad since they know he's Christian AF and he would never take any drugs, even though painkillers I think are a little different, but over-the-counter stuff. Paige shows up. He offers booze. He does the same bit. How could you do that? You know that I'm Christian AF. Private Party are in his locker room with Matt Hardy. They start to try to offer him booze. He says the same thing. How could you do that? I'm Christian AF. And that's how the episode ends. It is funny that usually at the end of the episode they get the animated Matt and Nick. Now the animated Matt has he's gigged himself. He's bleeding. So I just thought that was kind of clever. Little things like that. Little details. Alright, so now we go to AEW Dark. So this one actually was changed. Actually this one wasn't changed. I'm sorry, these were Dynamite episodes that were changed. So the first match on AEW Dark is Robert Anthony versus Brian Cage. Anthony has gotten a lot of work over the last few weeks. He's faced Moxley, Sky, and now he's faced Cage all in successive weeks. Cage attempts a quick start. Anthony evades and gets some shots in. Cage quickly changes that, does a buckle bomb, suplexes him from the outside to the inside of the ring, draw claw for the win. We get Musa and David Ali versus SCU, Christopher Daniels and Kaz. Quick start by Christopher Daniels and Musa. CD gives some respect before a cheap shot by Ali. Ali with the pump kick, Musa with the moonsault and goes for cover, but he's not the legal man. CD with the Blue Thunder Bomb and a hot tag to Kaz. They do a total elimination combo on Ali. They do a powerbomb neck breaker combo on Musa, and then they do the best Meltzer ever. So it's basically the Tombstone moonsault BME on Ali for the win. We then get Pineapple Pete versus Sean Spears. Pineapple Pete holding his own to start. A series of covers by Pineapple Pete, nothing more than a 1 count though. Spears seems frustrated, goes to the outside, gets a pep talk from Tully. He comes back in, he's super aggressive, does a spine buster for a 2 count. Blue Thunder Bomb by Spears for a 2 count. Tully then argues with the ref, and while he's distracted, Spears adds a piece of metal into the glove. The ref checked earlier, which is kind of funny. The ref checked earlier with the glove when he was punching him just to make sure it was empty. So obviously they waited. He handed him a piece of metal. He puts it in his glove. Hits Pineapple Pete with the gloved hand for the win. We then get Griff Garrison versus Lance Archer. Lance brings a jobber, one of the guys from Vice, I think the tag team name was. Over his shoulder, who's already knocked out. Then he power slams him on the ramp, and he's there for the entire match. Jake looks stunned while this is going on, which I think is pretty funny. Griff does get some shots in, but then he gets pounced. There's a ripcord Uranagi for a 2 count. Does the blackout, and then the kind of claw slam the head into the ring for the win. The jobber wakes up, rolls into the ring, gets a massive choke slam for his trouble, and that's it. We then get Dark Order. This is Reynolds and Silver versus Joey Janela and Sonny Kiss. Apparently they're also known as 3 and 4 of the Dark Order. According to Brody Lee, they have to compete with their masks on, but they can, they don't wear their masks any other time. They do a heart. Janela and Kiss do their double team moves. The heart attack. The heart attack, clothesline into the Boston Crab leg drop, reverse headlock, single leg drop kick combo. What's his name? Kiss does the Kiss My Sass, where he's bringing, I think, Stu Grayson's butt into his face into his butt. Silver with the drop kick on Janela. Maybe I said Stu by accident. I think it was Silver. So Silver with the drop kick on Janela so hard that his mask came off, which I thought was pretty funny. Silver military press dropped into a cutter for a 2 count on Janela. Silver with the roundhouse kicks to Janela in their corner. Hot tag to Kiss finally. Step up Rana, flatliner, and Reynolds breaks up the count. Assisted suplex, suicide dive combo on the outside to Janela. Janela with the double blockbuster. Stereo missile drop kicks by Janela and Kiss. There's a top rope split leg drop by Kiss for the win. So then we get Mel versus Kylan King. Mel hasn't been on TV for months. King has moves, but Mel has power advantage. They're hyping the connection with Mel and Luther. They don't mention, obviously, the fact they were part of the Nightmare Collective, but he wasn't even out there with her, so I'm not sure. King tries an arm drag, just gets stomped. King with a ton of strikes, crossbody, but then there's a sit-down choke slam by Mel for the win. We get Lee Johnson versus Scorpio Sky, which was a fantastic match, even though obviously we knew who was winning this. Big drop kick by Sky for a 2 count. Sky with the German release. Lee lands on his feet. Blue Thunder Bomb by Lee for a 2 count. Sky with the TKO for the win. Obviously, I didn't do the match justice. It's definitely worth checking out. Lee Johnson is actually really good. They've been using him a lot. I can't wait till he actually starts, moving his way up. I hope he gets signed if he's not already. And then, they start to show him being very, athletic and everything going on. He's good. We then get Luther, Serpentico, and Max Caster versus Jurassic Express, 6-man tag. Caster says, does he want everyone to hear him rap? And then Marco Stunt slaps him around, drop kicks in the corner, uses Jungle Boy for the last one. Caster desperately tags Serpentico. Serpentico and Jungle Boy going move for move, then drop kick by Jungle Boy. Luther and Lucha go at it. Serpentico planted by Luchasaurus. Casadora Wilbur suplex that ends up like a German suplex by Luchasaurus. We get Casadora flatliner combo on Caster. A stunt splash from Lucha's shoulders. Jungle Boy with the Swanton. Lucha with the Moonsault. Ripcord, splash, leg drop combo. All on Caster. Luther breaks up the pin. Luther is yelling like crazy. It's really kind of obnoxious. Hot tag to Luchasaurus, and he cleans house. Extinction level event on Caster. Luther slams stunt to break the pin up. Serpentico gets Luther to not engage and sacrifice Caster. And then Jungle Boy hits the SGS lock for the submission win. I don't know if there's some kind of pairing with them, but they just, I guess, didn't want to get involved anymore and figured Max Caster is kind of the one that can get sacrificed. We then get the main event of Orange Cassidy versus Peter Avalon. The best friends come out with beach towel merch. Obviously, they love to sell their merch, AEW. Avalon throws Cassidy's glasses during a headlock. Cassidy tries to keep his hands in his pockets, but Avalon keeps taking them out. Ref puts the glasses back on him. Cassidy to the outside and flirts with Leva. Basement drop kick to the outside by Avalon. Fireman's carry flapjack for a 1 count by Avalon. Double underhook suplex by Avalon for a 2 count. Tilt-a-whirl DDT by Cassidy for a 2 count. And then Cassidy hits the Superman punch for the win. So obviously giving Orange Cassidy some momentum and some victories here. He didn't do his kind of weird pinning combination for the win. This was just the Superman punch, which I find it so much better from him than Roman Reigns, maybe just because he has a better moveset, which is funny to say, Orange Cassidy, but he just does. And finally, it is the go-home show for Dynamite for Fyter Fest. We get a fantastic lumberjack match to start. Wardlow versus Luchasaurus. I know a lot of people don't like lumberjack matches just because it's kind of paint by numbers. You always know what's going to happen. This one was really fun though. Chuck and Trent are actually dressed as actual lumberjacks, which is pretty funny. They took it really seriously. Excuse me. Luchasaurus is tossed to the heels. They attack him, but he kind of powers out, sends them all away. Wardlow does some tossing suplexes on Luchasaurus. I think it's the first time I've ever seen him manhandled by anybody since joining AEW. Luchasaurus hits a question mark kick, standing moonsault for a 2 count. Wardlow with a superplex for a 2 count. Wardlow with a standing Rana, which I thought was really impressive for a guy his size. Lucha then hits a Spanish fly for a 2 count. Super impressive. Wardlow hits a power slam on Lucha on the ramp. Jungle Boy is tossed after he tries to look for Luchasaurus to see how he's doing. He's tossed into the heels, stunned with a somersault into the heel group. Fight moves to the stage. Cutler tries to grab Wardlow, I guess bring him back into the ring. He gets tossed into the heels, off the stage into the heels, stunt pressed, and then tossed into the heels as well, which was just crazy. He got huge height. I mean, because obviously he's so tiny, so it was nothing for Wardlow. Lucha hits a roundhouse kick on Wardlow, and he just falls off the stage onto everyone. Then Lucha goes to the front of the stage, does a standing shooting star press. There was a slight botch because he had to kind of like, get his feet, and then everyone was doing the old like, oh, what do we do? It was kind of annoying. They were kind of just like waiting for him to do it, but still the fact that he didn't land on everyone was pretty cool. Does it back into the ring, does a tail whip into a choke slam. MJF then gets on the apron, distracts the ref. Jungle Boy hits an awesome, like Big E style spear through the ropes and then onto everyone on the outside. But while that's going on, Wardlow hits a low blow and then the F10 for the win. MJ and Wardlow on the attack. All the Lumberjacks come in. Just huge melee. We then get word from Tony Khan, which I like that he's booking the matches. He might not be the general manager or anything, but they're making him the authority figure that actually books everything. Excuse me. So Tony Khan books Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy versus MJF and Wardlow for Fyter Fest, which I think will be a Dynamite match. No pun intended. We then get Taz's whatever it is, his teaching corner or whatever. He's doing his segment on Cage. Look at his legs. Look at the power. Like all that kind of stuff. It's kind of funny. Britt sends a note to Tony. The friendship timeout is over, even though she left him in the dumpster for 6 hours. She's in the Rolls Royce now, but it's surrounded by plexiglass, which I thought is kind of funny. She's drinking a martini, has security. She's just living her best life. We then get Sheeta versus Red Velvet. So Sheeta comes out and immediately just does a beeline right for Ford and Kip, who are on the outside watching. They're jawing at each other. Ford slaps Sheeta, and she's about to use her kendo stick, but the ref stops her. She goes into the ring, 12 seconds, running knee, Falcon Arrow for the win, without even missing a beat. Just bang, bang, match over, gets out, and then just attacks Penelope Ford. It's great. They're fighting each other. She decks Kip Sabian. Kip Sabian loses a lens out of his sunglasses, which I thought was funny. Apparently, Ricky Starks caught a shot from that because he was actually selling it at first. I was trying to look to see exactly where because he was holding his eye and I didn't know if it was kayfabe or not. He apparently did get hit. Also, something funny was Cesar Bononi, who was a former NXT star, apparently a prominent NXT star before I guess he just fell out of favor and was no longer being used. He was in the crowd next to Ricky Starks, which I thought was funny. I assume that's fine, provided that he just doesn't participate in actual matches. I don't know if his non-compete is still going on now or not, but I just thought that was funny. We then get this. I thought this was a little cheesy, but it's right up Cody's alley. We get a Fyter Fest press conference for the TNT Championship. Jake Hager's not there. They're doing it, actual style. I don't know if these are real reporters or just real names of reporters. I know that they did say PW Insider, so I obviously that's a legit wrestling outlet. So Arns asked the question, said, it wasn't time for Hager, but he was just testing Cody to get motivated and say, I want Hager. Cody has a feel to be the first TNT champ, says he feels like hope. But it goes, his usual shtick. He even talks about how the belt is incomplete and this isn't the right thing due to everything that's going on. And Hager finally shows up with his wife. He's just like, all right, we're ready to do this. They do the pictures. He puts his, fist up to Cody's face. They start to, jar each other. Dustin wants to get involved. And then, Cody holds him back. And then Hager's wife throws water in Cody's face and makes it like it was like something big. He's like, ugh. And then he just ends the press conference. I just thought it was really dumb. It went on a little too long. Maybe that's what it was. And Hager being there would have been. I don't mind it in the sense like those type of things because it's we're supposed to be more sports oriented, or AEW is supposed to be more sports oriented. So things like that are cool. They do a tail of the tape, they do the questions, whatever. But it just seemed kind of cheesy, this one. We then get kind of a continuation of the vignette we saw a couple times with Janelle and Kiss driving around. They go, Kiss tries to cheer him up, says, lets him drive. They go to, so they go to some kind of like gas station kind of kind of mini mart type thing. So Janela's inside buying like a burrito and stuff. While this is going on, a couple guys try to say, it's a nice car, let's take it, against Kiss. They start fighting. They then show a shot of Janela still shopping. Kiss is, holding his own, but obviously there's a bunch of numbers there. Janela finally arrives, and help, takes, uses the bag of whatever he bought as a weapon. And then they're all like happy, and they're all like, all right, and they drive off. This is which I kind of find funny that they go Brody Lee, Colt Cabana versus Janela and Kiss, but Janela and Kiss are already in the ring, so they kind of get the jobber entrance, even though I guess they're saying that the vignette was kind of their entrance. Brody's out with Silver and Reynolds. Kiss Casadora fails, tossed by Brody Lee. Janela's rocking trunks this time, just a little weird. I like him with the pants. I think that he looks better with the pants. Colt tagged in. Lee tries to give him advice. Janela and Kiss go for tag team moves, but Lee intervenes. Reynolds and Silver attack Kiss while the ref is distracted. Lee and Colt working well together, isolating Kiss. Hot tag to Janela. Death Valley driver on Colt for a 2 count. Stereo moonsaults from the top to the outside by Kiss and Janela. Top rope splash by Janela, then a 450 by Kiss, but the pin is broken up by Lee. Kiss with the top rope splash to Silver and Reynolds, but catches a big boot by Lee. Lee does the discus lariat to Janela, and then he tags Colt in to let him get the pin. Obviously, Cole is excited. He gets a win. He hasn't won in a while, so he's really happy about that. We get Lance Archer comes out, starts attacking Sonny Kiss. He totally no-sells a chair shot from Janela to the face, and then Jake stops Lance from hurting Janela even more than he already has. We then get a recap of Spears, as I said, putting the kind of loaded weight or whatever it was, piece of metal in his hand, and beating Pineapple Pete on Dynamite. We then get SCU versus FTR. So this match was supposed to be the natural nightmares of QT Marshall and Dustin Rhodes, but obviously due to QT Marshall believing that he came into contact with someone who has been tested positive for the virus, he spoke with the medical staff there, and they said it would be best for him to kind of quarantine for a few days, get tested, just to see whether or not he has it, which I thought was smart, and I appreciated them putting it out there as opposed to WWE, the way they've been handling it. So this match was a fantastic match anyway. So we get FTR walk right past Britt after they get out of the car. She's not happy about that. She sends a note that to Tony saying that FTR can GTFO if they don't say hi. Allie with an I miss QT sign on the outside. Straight fight breaks out between the teams. Cash and CD fight on the outside. Kaz misses springboard leg drop. Cash with the Rana on CD, then a hot tag to Dax. Snaps suplex Kaz onto CD. Dax with the slingshot suplex for a 2 count. Throws up the 4. I guess, I don't know if they're going to redo the 4 Horsemen or what. I don't know how that's going to work. But they've mentioned it a couple times now. CD with the STO on Dax. Kaz with the I'm Prettier on Cash for a 2 count. They hit the Vegematic on CD for 2 count. CD reverse superplex for a 2 count. Powerbomb neckbreaker combo by SCU on Dax for a 2 count. CD hits the Angel's Wings on Dax. Cash breaks up the count. And then the Good Night Express on CD for the win. There's a post-match promo in the ring by FTR. He says there's good and bad guys, and they're the best. They're the baddest MFers or something, whatever it was, but they're the best. They call out some of the top tag teams. Butcher and Blade show up by the muscle car that FTR always arrives in. Says he's going to split it in half unless he accepts their challenge of an 8-man tag at Fyter Fest. Pentagon and Phoenix show up behind them. They said it's going to be the FTR and the Young Bucks versus Butcher and the Blade versus Butcher and the Blade and Lucha Bros. Pentagon and Phoenix show up. They hit the package pile driver once it starts brawling and the foot stop combo on Cash. Young Bucks show up, but the heels take the truck. They all get in the truck and drive off. We get a really good vignette of the hyping of video package of Best Friends and Kenny Omega and Hangman Page for their tag match at Fyter Fest, which I think is going to be a banger of a match. Jim Ross, Taz, Tony, and Excalibur all give their thoughts on it. Ross hints there's still drama between Paige and Hangman that hasn't reared its head yet. But this was really good. I like the way, like the seriousness, but the joking between best friends. And they're just going to beat the shit out of them. We then get a video package of Cage and Mox ahead of their match. All the commentary like the previous package, but, kind of the same thing. So speaking of another match being changed, we still are not 100% sure whether or not John Moxley is going to be able to actually participate in Fyter Fest, as was stated online and confirmed by the person herself. It turns out that Renee Young, John Moxley's husband, has actually been tested positive for the virus. She's obviously, which kind of sucks. It threw a lot of things into the wrench there. I mean, she was just like in the ring with all these superstars the other day. We don't know when she got it, but obviously John Moxley being her husband, so he decided to also say the same thing to everybody about what happened like QT, and that he was going to self-quarantine and then get tested to see whether or not he has the virus and whether or not he will participate in Fyter Fest. That's still all up in the air. As far as we know, it's still all scheduled. So he was supposed to have a match today, but instead they give it to Brian Cage. So it was Brian Cage versus John Cruz. John Cruz is very small, so he gets manhandled, powerbomb, tossed from the ramp into the ring, drill claw for the win. Taz on commentary for a minute. He goes to the ring for a post-match promo, asks where Mox is, came in contact with someone, so we know that, but he calls it a bullshit excuse, which I thought was funny, but at the same time kind of serious, so you gotta kind of walk that line. Backstage with Brody and Colt Cabana, Colt says it felt good to finally win one. Brody says, it's how you react to losses. He then challenges, he says, you want to do it again? Let's challenge SCU at Fyter Fest. They were once non-believers, obviously rekindling that feud with SCU. And, Colt obviously is a little hesitant about it. One, because SCU is a good team, and two, because they're friends. And SCU was, teaming with Colt against the Dark Order at one point. So, it's kind of a weird spot for him. But we then get the lineup of Fyter Fest as we know it right now. Obviously, card subject to change. It's going to be for over the next 2 weeks. The first night, I'm petting my dog, by the way, if you see me shaking at all. So the first night, we get Jurassic Express versus MJF and Wardlow. That was set earlier in the evening. Private Party versus Santana and Ortiz. Sheeta versus Ford for the Women's Championship. Cody versus Hager for the TNT Championship. And for the tag team titles, we get Paige and Omega versus Best Friends. That's all on night one. That's stacked card. On night two, we get Janela versus Archer, which was also just announced, obviously, due to what happened after the tag match. Nyla Rose in action. I don't know who that's going to be with. SCU versus Lee and Colt. It's going to be full of SCU, so it's going to be all three, a six-man tag. Scorpio Sky, Kaz, and CD versus Brody Lee, Colt Cabana, and Stu Grayson. We get Jericho versus Orange Cassidy. And then we get the eight-man tag of Butcher, Blade, Pentagon, Phoenix versus Young Bucks and FTR. And then we also get Mox versus Cage as of right now. So only one title match on night two. It's championship heavy on night one. More tag team, I guess. Actually, no, just those two tag team matches. But multiple man tag matches on night two. Okay, so then we get Tony reads a note where Britt trashes Swole. And we get a look at Britt. Swole shows up, starts talking trash. Britt says she can't hear him. So Swole leaves, or is what we thought she leaves. She actually shows up on top of the Rolls Royce, dumps garbage onto Britt, who's then in the in the plexiglass, and then Reba, Rebel, whatever you want to call her, is trying to use a leaf blower to get Swole away and push all the garbage out, which I thought was really funny. I don't know what her status is. I don't know if she's a wrestler or not. But yeah, Swole needs to be wrestling. I mean, right now we only had one women's match on Dynamite, and it was literally 12 seconds. They had some interaction after, which was good, but I think they should be giving, at least one more match, especially if you have just an absolute squash as your only match. But, that's just a criticism that's lobbed at AEW a lot lately. They're getting better with it, but things like this are kind of disheartening because they really do have a very talented women's roster. I mean, even giving Ford a match to show her how dominant she was, that would have been good, but okay. We then get what was supposed to be Sammy Guevara versus Matt Hardy, obviously due to the stuff that came out about Sammy. He's been suspended indefinitely. So Santana took the place. Santana's just awesome though versus Matt Hardy. Matt dressed as Damascus, broken Matt Hardy for this match. Pretty even match. Santana can always hang with whoever he fights. He's great. Ortiz gets involved. Santana counters a side effect. Does a lion salt for a 2 count. Santana into all the turnbuckles in the corner. Side effect 1 count. Side effect 2 count. Another side effect for a 2 count. So Santana is kicking out of side effects. Ortiz distracts Santana with the running driver. Hardy counters the pin into the win. Ortiz with a post-match attack. They do a street sweeper, then Private Party comes to the ring. I do like that they kayfabe why Private Party took so long to get out. Turns out the locker rooms are where the stadium is, so it's not just right outside. So often you see like people getting beat up, and you're like, why isn't anyone coming out? And obviously they do it for the effect, but this was a legit reason why they weren't right there. So then we get our face-off between Orange Cassidy and Jericho. This was really fun. Jericho starts talking about the joke, why did the chicken cross the road to get to the other side, why the chicken get it, and he goes through it a bunch of times, and he says, at first it's kind of cute and funny, but after a while you just realize how stupid it is, kind of like what you are, Orange Cassidy. You're like the chicken who crossed the road joke. You're funny at first, but now everyone's just tired of you. Get out of here. She's like stepping on wires. Come here. Lay down. Alright, lay down. My pup. She's so crazy. So once he found out that Orange Cassidy was being signed by AEW, he called up the Bucks, Cody, Tony, asked them why. They all said that the people love him. Oh, you alright? Just coughing. But as he quoted the late great Brian Pillman, to get over in this business you have to be different, and he said, a lot. And he did. He gave him some props. He got over it on his own by being just himself. But he said he's a lot like the audience. They're lazy slackers. If you try that bullshit shin kicks, he'll beat him and win in 30 seconds. So Cassidy takes the mic, and you think he's about to speak. Puts the mic on the ground. Does his sweet shin music. Hands in pockets. Jericho breaks his glasses. And then Cassidy snaps, takes him down, double leg takedown, and they begin to brawl to the outside. Jericho goes hockey fight style. They fight into the crowd. Jericho hits Cassidy with the camera jib. He loves using that. Cassidy starts bleeding from the ear. Eventually he hits a Superman punch that sends Jericho through a table. Cassidy stands tall. So I will do some kind of predictions video. I'm going to do a night 1 and night 2 because, obviously with cards subject to change and everything. So I'll do that. But yeah, Cassidy stood tall. That was everything that happened in AEW this week. It was pretty cool. I enjoyed it. It was fun. Some good matches. Oh wait, actually, I didn't give my my usual shtick here. Hold on, I already X'd out of everything. I was so focused on getting out. Oh yeah, I gotta open this up. Yada yada yada. Sorry about this, guys. We can just cut this out, right? Well, I mean, I'm not going to cut it out. Why is it so dark? There we go. Recaps. It was definitely a Dynamite match. That was... I always forget. You know what I mean? This is... I don't know why it just gets dark like that. Okay. That won't load. So anyway, yeah. So I'm going to give my match of the week. There we go. So I'm going to give it to SCU versus FTR. This was a fantastic match, and obviously it had to be done on the fly because, as I said, Natural Nightmares were not able to compete because of QT coming into Contact. But yeah, I mean, it was great tag team wrestling. Veterans, of the business, know what to do. Obviously, this didn't have a lot of time to be able to, to come together, but they did it. FTR winning was the right move, obviously. SCU loses nothing from this. I think now that SCU, they're going away from the Kaz, Scorpio Sky, and allowing him to do his singles run, they're going to be more of a kind of, I would say, like a mid-card tag. They'll get wins here and there, but when it comes to big matches, they'll be the ones to kind of put over the other team that needs to go over, which is fine. I mean, they're both, in their 40s or 50, I think CD might be close to 50, or if he's not 50 yet. So anyway, that was my match of the week. That is everything for AEW this week. As I said, I'll do a prediction video for Fyter Fest Night 1. As always, you can don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, blah, 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 blah. Do that. I'm actually trying to see if I can start working this into pulling the audio and putting it on podcast form, seeing if maybe that gets some more viewers. Who knows? I don't know. We'll see. So as always, stay safe, love each other, and bye now. Okay, another in the books. I'm exhausted because it's super early. I'm trying to bang out these videos, so much so that my trusty assistant gave me a little idea of what I was talking about earlier. Say hi. Say hi to the people. No? Say hi. Are you tired too that I woke you up at 6:30? Alright, she's not really very photogenic in the morning, so nothing to I don't know. I lost my train of thought. Goodbye.